Oh, no, we do. Hey, how you doing, man?
Find you?
Not bad, not bad at all. Right. It's been a long time, dude. Good to have you back. Did you play pretty much non-stop over the time we didn't coach over the last, what was it, like a year and a half, 2 years? Or did you take some breaks as well?
Mm, I took a break, like from competitive laddering, and I've returned now that I have a little bit more time. But
Awesome, man. And I know you'd had a bit of a downswing, right? Where you'd won, lost, sorry, a bunch of MMR. You're at about 3,400,
Yeah, that's about
and
right.
your peak was up to kind of Diamond 2, even high Diamond 2, right? Like about 3,800. Okay, cool. I mean, that's a natural up and down swing. Everyone's up and down all the time. We want to kind of big goal, aim for Diamond 1 this season if possible. Right now, those matchup percentages, those are up to date. So thank you so much for putting those in the document, dude. That's awesome. ZVZ 59, ZVP 44, ZVT 43. All right. So I guess ZVT is the matchup we're focusing on, right? I think you'd already mentioned that.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. So today, did you have anything in mind? Did you want to mostly look at replays? Did you want to mostly play games against a practice partner? Did you bring anyone along to play games with?
No, I didn't bring anyone, and I have a replay that I would like to check out first, if you
Okay.
agree.
Awesome. Yeah.
That it was versus a random player that ended up being Terran, and normally versus random I open 12 pool to be safe. I like that opening. And then I got a huge advantage, and I managed to throw the game in a way that it's worth seeing.
Hey, no worries, man. So sorry, you said that's 12 pool. Is that your verse random build that you like to do? Did you say?
Yes.
So it's just a way
Yes.
of, okay, get very aggressive, and it's just straight into a quick expansion, or do you go queen then an expansion with your 12 pool?
It's 12 pool, queen, and then expand.
Okay, cool. All right, and then you just kind of macro up from there, and
Yes.
all right, cool. In the past we talked about a 6 roach pressure build way back, like sneaking some roaches across in a certain matter, off like a hatch first. We also have kind of 35 drone roach timing. So we're trying to be very aggressive with those builds. We've also got the rule of one gas you wrote down. So what are you more focused on? Like what's been the main thing, aggressive or macro play?
I've been more aggressive. The build that I'm using the most is the 35 drone timing attack, that it allows me to be in control, and normally I can do damage, so I can have a transition. Sometimes I lose everything and I lose the game right there, but normally I can either win or have a good game that I am in control.
Okay, awesome.
Sometimes
All right.
sorry. And with rule of one gas, it's like I want to play a standard Zerg reactive to see how am I doing scouting at my compositions, and
Yeah, hitting the queen timings and the creep spread and
yes,
all that sort of stuff. Okay, cool. That's good that you've got options. I really love that you've got a few options. Like sometimes it's also you just don't feel like being defensive on a certain day. You want to have, all right, I want to just make this game a little bit better chance of me just getting a free win, more decisive, macro behind aggression, so I'm not dealing with Hellions on the edge of creep as much, that sort of stuff. So let's get into the
yes,
replay, mate. That is you, QGG, Kaiser,
yes.
right? All right, host up the
Yes, it's
replay,
me.
and let's get in there. So go watch with others, and let's take a glance through. So,
It's this.
all
This
right,
one go.
okay. So you like to play Hydraling Bane, and you like to add Lurkers and then Ultras, and you're more comfortable against Bio with that than against Mech. Okay, cool. All right, make me the lobby host. Oh, this is a ZVP. I thought it was a
This
ZVT
is,
you wanted to look at first. Or was it?
this is I saved it with the wrong name. Sorry.
Okay, no
Let
worries.
me let me quit this.
It's always good to
And
label those replays right after you play them because this happens a lot. And when you go through your replays, you can see the name of the players and the length of the game time, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just a heads up for anyone who's watching on the stream. If you guys have struggle finding your replays, go and we want, I don't know which menu it is. There's like a replay info or something. I think it's observer and replay. Display replay time info. That's what you want. This one.
Yeah.
While you do that, actually, I still haven't downloaded Game Heart. While you find that replay, Game Heart.
I found it.
Okay, fantastic.
This should be it.
Oof. If anyone knows where to find the up-to-date Game Heart, let me know. Link it in chat, please. As the old TL thread is not up to date.
I opened the same replay. No, I think it's bug. I think it has a bogus.
Okay, let's load it up. Let's see. Maybe it's bugged. All right.
Yes.
That's weird. That's very. Make me the lobby host. I think you just made me the.
Promote to lobby host.
There we go. All right. Cool. Fantastic. Yeah. Hopefully it's just a bug. We'll see. It says random there now.
Yes.
But let's see.
Yes. It's weird.
That is very weird. That's really weird. It's just showing us Protoss in the in-game the menu. That's crazy. All right, cool. All right, so in this game, you're going to do your 12 pool expand. I'm not really familiar with this build in this matchup at all, so I'll kind of figure things out as I watch and see how it goes. What was the plan this game? Did you end up doing the 6 roach sneaky attack? Did you do the 35 drone timing? Did you just go rule of one?
No, this is 12 pool, and I do so much damage that I got too confident, and he went for like 8 Helion's pressure, and then I kind of lost like 10 drones, and then everything went downhill from there.
Okay. So when do you normally take your gas in the follow-up for this build against Terran?
Against Terran, around like 31 supply, 30 supply, more or less.
Okay, cool. You don't want to get it as fast because you've obviously spent a lot of money on the opening. But that can be big. So in this game, so what you should always do after this sort of opening is you should always move your Overlord up a little bit after that and spot the high ground. He's moved across the map with his Reaper. So your Lings at any point here could have attacked up this ramp. Right now the depot's down. Maybe you even get inside, right? If you don't, you can at least kill the reactor while it's building, force a bunch of SCVs off to repair. You know, these Lings aren't the most useful.
I do just that. When I see the Reaper, I attack.
Oh, okay, once you saw the... Yeah, would have been good if the Overlord saw it even earlier, right? Or if you saw when he cancelled the buildings in the wall. Because he was panicking and walling off before. And oh my god, that's disgusting. That's awesome. Well, oh my god, you get the guys building the command center again as well. What a shit show.
Yes.
Okay, cool. He's fucked, yeah. But...
And I managed to lose after that.
Well, you're doing nothing behind it. Yeah, so you're getting cocky, for sure. Like you said, yes. Right? You just started your 3rd queen. You're building a lot of overlords. You're building nothing but drones. Your link speed's really late. And we know there's just a reacted factory. Like, there's only one thing that he can do, which is a Hellion run by. And we should know because the game's messed up. It's like, we should be building lots of Zerglings right now or walling off our natural and just droning up 2 bases. One of the two, right? And you've got really bad map vision. You've got a bunch of overlords sitting around your base. Now, this is more common in these sorts of games, but to go back to fundamentals, I mean, we should really have that habit of being like, okay, so important. You see where I'm signaling?
Yes.
Bam, bam, and bam. And then obviously fill in the edges. So this is going to mean we have even less time to react to these Hellions when they come across. Also, something I like to do, that Overlord in the front. I like to put that off the pillar and forward a little bit, unless I know there's Marines out. Because notice you don't have as much vision. I'd like to see just a little bit further forward, because notice you barely glimpse those Hellions moving out.
Yes.
So I doubt you noticed it. You may have. You did put 2 spines down now. You might have just done that anyway. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah. Sorry?
No, I did notice, and that's why the reactive spines, but anyway...
That's how it goes,
He
man.
managed to do his thing.
All right, and these spines are really bad. Don't ever build static defense unless you have a really good reason. This is such a waste of money, and it's bad mindset. So static defense is the worst thing. Now, the reason static D in of itself is building a spine crawler at the end of the world, no. But it's the mindset. So you have no vision, you have no creep spread, you have 0 mobile units, and your queens can't even get between your bases because there's no creep. So these are like the fundamental things that are the highest priority. But you're going, ooh, I feel a little naked. Let's put down a spine. So it's kind of like if you put down one spine or one cannon or anything like that in each base, it's going to slightly slow down a very small bit of pressure. Any decent pressure, anything that's microed, they could just shift click the drones, kill it. Your spine doesn't have enough damage, right? Your spines can't move together. They can't consolidate. So it doesn't help you spread creep. It doesn't help you push your creep forward. It doesn't allow you to defend your bases properly. So there's something where this becomes a habit and it starts to give us the illusion of safety when realistically, when we're ignoring all the things we should be. And we're trying to rush right now to 3 base Roach up against a 1 base opponent, right? He's crippled. We did so much damage. So like there should have been in your head a scale of where your opponent's at. So there's so many different things here. So let me just summarize a few in notes in our document really quickly. And then we can rewatch our drones getting slaughtered a few times. But let's not focus on that. I want you to focus on the notes, okay? So great opening. OV could be a bit further forward at their base. Complete lack of fundamental normal priorities behind your damage. And this is a big thing when people get excited. We all do this. Whoa, crazy shit's happening, doing crazy damage, it's fucking awesome. And we stop focusing on our basics. It's like a really common thing where you've got to go take a deep breath, do my normal things. Creep, overlords in position, have a squad of defensive units to help us defend the Hellion potential. Now continue droning. Right? So we should have OV spread around bases and especially out front. Creep spread. Pack of units to stop Hellion dives. So that can be a pack of lings. It could be 20 lings, 5 roaches, any of that, you know, that sort of stuff. More queen production and creep, which we're completely lacking this game. And the thing is, like, now we're starting to spread some overlords up, but we just we're still droning up at this point, right? We're still kind of going, all right, let's just go on the drones. We've built all these spines, which are just really not going to help us out. So it's one of these things where I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, wait a second. What was our goal in this game and were we adjusting to that goal? And especially if you've been aggressive early game. Maybe they're aggressive to you and you've survived. Maybe you've been aggressive to them and they've survived. You have to remember to recalibrate where you are in the game and your understanding of that. So what do I mean by that? I mean, you need to understand if you're on a scale, you're here in economy, they're here in this economy in a normal game. You're here in army, they're here in army. And then that shifts throughout the game. Oh, he's not taking a third, he's building a big army. His army is way bigger. My economy is way bigger. And you can kind of sense the scales moving, right? In this sort of game, it's more important than ever to kind of take stock and come up with some general, okay, what have I achieved? So let's ignore this. Let's go right back to those Zerglings getting in the mineral line. 4 minutes, we just friggin' ruined him. We did so much damage. This is sick. So right here at this point, we can make a few conclusions. So economically, after you just killed about 10 SCVs in there, you'd already killed his CC on the low ground. You delayed this CC building twice in the main. Economically, where do you think you are compared to him? Double his economy plus 50%? Like, give it a percentage. So,
like double.
All right.
For the mills.
Economy, we're at plus 100%. Okay, cool. Okay, fantastic. And in terms of army, neither of you started building army yet, right?
Right.
Army equals 50-50, you're even. Tech, are you ahead or behind in tech?
Right now, I'll say behind.
Yeah, because you don't have ling speed, right? And he's got Hellions. So we don't have roaches, we don't have ling speed, we don't have any upgrades on the way. He's got Hellions. It's not insurmountable, but that is important. Tech. Let's say we're behind 30% in tech. No ling speed started. He has Hellions out and a reacted factory. Okay, cool. So outside of the potential of reacted factory means Hellions, and if there's Hellions, they can run in, so you should wall off to defend that. Just think of it in general terms. He has even army, less economy. So you're already at double the economy, but you're down in tech. So you need to be a little bit safer than normal, right? So what I'm going to say here is, like, okay, play a little safer, you know, pump out some generic fighting units, but make sure we have more than normal. Why do we have more than normal, by the way? In terms of army, are we even? Tech, are we? You know what? I'm going to say we're behind in army, actually. Behind. Why are we behind 30% in army? No queens. No extra queens. Not even started. We only have 2 queens. So if we think about it, is that going to help you on the map? No. But in an early game scenario, no queens, we're missing. If we had a 3rd and 4th queen out, spreading creep, getting energy for transfuse, that's a huge buff to our defense. So we're actually double economy, but we're behind in army, behind in tech. Okay, we need to really compensate to make sure we can defend that economic advantage. So, obviously starting ling speed now, we'd be like, maybe we just build zerglings and extra queens, and we just kind of keep the lings back, spread out a bit, and the queens up front, and we try to defend that way. We could build a roach horn and try to make roaches through it. We could build a single spine crawler at the front of our natural while we're waiting for the queens and lings. There's a lot of different ways of doing this, right? In this game, though, I think let's just think about it. Put yourself back in your shoes here. You've done damage. You're doing well. I think one of the best things when you're way ahead in the game is to already lock your eyes, and you should probably do this all the time anyway. It's a good habit to keep you focused on strategy, but you should lock your eyes on a potential timing attack that you're going to aim towards to finish the game. And I think that's a really good choice, or like a real strong point, right? But I'll just sit here and get more ahead. So off the top of your head, what do you think is an attack that you're comfortable with that you could try to finish the game with since you've done this early damage?
I would say a +1 roach, speed roach, +1 speed roach.
Okay. So we can go +1 speed roach. Define that more. How many drones would you have with this +1 speed roach attack?
3 gases, that's 9. Then 2 mineral lines, 41, around 50. 51, 52.
Okay, how many gases?
3.
52 drones, 3 gases. That won't probably time out quite right. So with that, you'd probably need a 4th gas. And even then actually I think with a 4th gas, it's okay. You wouldn't really be able to afford any Ravagers though. So I would say you're either doing, because the thing is your tech's not that fast, right? Your lair is not that early. So even if we already had a Roach Horn started with this lair, it's not crazy fast. We could do it. But I would say we either want to go 55 drone, 5 gas, lots of Ravagers, or we could do a 45 drone, 3 gas roach speed, where it's just roach speed +1, and maybe even skipping +1. Right, just like a really fast attack. There's a big difference between those two attacks. The one with the Ravagers and the +1 is like, you can break walls, blast tanks down, obviously bring an Overseer always to spot the high ground so you can kill tanks, right? That's cool. Okay, so that's one potential thing we could do. My only problem with that is that doesn't lead into a normal macro game, right? You said your normal macro games you're more comfortable with is Hydraling Bane, right?
Yes.
So if we go for like +1 roach attack, we can transition back into Hydraling Bane, but it's a bit awkward, right? If we decide not to commit to the attack, we end up with this weird composition. So, I mean, what about the thing you have more experience with, the 35 drone attack? What do you think of that?
I've never tried it after a 12 pool. I could do that.
You've never tried it after the 12 pool?
No.
I think, is that normally off 2 gases with your 35 drone?
No, it's 3 gases, so I can afford Ravagers.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, why not? I think that one you're more familiar with. Harder hitting. So I think it's a good choice. I think it's a great choice. Obviously, Banshee's quite good against. Okay, so these are some options that would really keep us tunnel visioned in on that. Like, let's just go finish the game. Let's use our advantage. But let's say we want to play a bit more conservative. Let's say you want to just go into Hydraling Bane macro, which is clearly what you were doing in this game. We can do that. Yes. We can still have some sort of attack in mind. It would probably be obviously not like a super fast attack, but it might be like, I guess, like 1/1 upgrades with Bane speed and Hydra upgrades and like 10 or 15 Hydras and a Packerling Bane. Like, there might be something in mind there where it's kind of like as they move out to take their third. If we play quote-unquote normal macro.
Yeah, in this game, I went Link Bane Muta, actually.
Cool.
Versus I like that versus Battle Mech. I don't know. I like the style.
Versus Biomech, did you say?
No, Battle Mech.
Ah, Battle Mech, right. I've no experience with Mutas versus Battle Mech, but I imagine if they get a few Thors and Widowmines out, you're going to have a hard time. I'm not a big fan of Mutas versus Battle Mech at all. But if it works for you, we can definitely play it if you find it really fun. I think the important thing though, like I said, is like, okay, try to have a timing if possible, or sometime you can exert yourself. Because Hydraling Bane is such a defensive comp, it's a bit harder. But like I said, maybe off 66 drones, 3 base, maybe we look to bust their third with Hydras, Bane speed, right? Hydra ups, Bane speed, 1/1. So that might be a goal. Okay, that's cool. That's still far away. What is your checklist for your safety though? Getting there, we still need our safety checklist. In a normal rule of 1 gas, we want extra queens and lings, or we want to defend with some very quick roaches with any standard ZVT build. So what do we think we should do as your path? Like, let's imagine you launch into this game after your early damage. What do you think is the funnest style that you would like to work on that we can kind of theorize and iron out a little bit more here?
The style I like the most is Link Bane, Hydra or Mutant.
Okay, so are you going to go back towards like a rule of 1 gas then, or?
After this opening, that's where I think that's where I'm lost, because as you said, I didn't know how to take the game from where I was.
Okay, cool. Well, that's a big thing, right? Because that's what I'm looking here at, is you've done some cool aggression and you used it well, but from there you're just kind of doing random things, right? Because we go with Roach Horn, but we don't really build roaches for a long time, and it's not a fast Roach Horn, they're very slow. We build spines, lots of spines. We're going link speed, but it's very late. We're not really building extra queens. We're not spreading creep. To me, it feels like it's just not defined, right? So this is one of these things where it's a different situation. You don't encounter much because you only do this 12 pool versus random Terran players, right? You don't normally do it if you see Terran in the loading screen, yeah?
No, never.
Okay, so there's like going to be a big lack of repetitions. So when in doubt, go back to your normal build. Okay, so if we think about this, right? So basically what we're looking at is you've gone off on a drastic branch off from your normal play. Once you've done the damage though, try to go back to your normal build. Now, how do you go to your normal build? Just go to, okay, I've got a third base down. We're playing rule of 1 gas. What do we do? What are the key things? So I need our normal progression. So off the top of your head, can you open up the document? Sorry, I don't think are you looking at it right now?
I'm looking at the...
I think you might be on a different...
Stream.
Oh, okay. No, open the document. Yeah, because I've been writing notes as we go. It's really good. Whenever I'm pausing like this, there's nothing to look at. There's nothing to look at on the stream, right? I'll keep it playing sometimes for the people on stream because they have short attention spans. But for you, we want to look at that document. There you go. Sweet.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so we need our normal progression. So rule of 1 gas. Key things to remember. All right, so I've made a little list there. I want you to fill that out right now. This is a really good little exercise. And this is kind of what you want to do. It's not going to be as perfect as doing a rule of 1 gas from the start, but it might be like, I'm going to start with something. I'm going to say creep spread is an important thing. So I want you to add some more dot points to that list and start filling that out in the document there, and just write, okay, what's the most important things? When do we build units? What do we use for defense? Just start writing all that down there. Just everything that comes to mind. Awesome.
You're under attack. Siege up.
More queens, aim for 7 to 10. Links for safety after 2 base saturation. Awesome. I love that. I love that point. Yeah, keep writing them down. Anything else that pops out here. That's really good. So it's like a real skill, finding your way back to familiar territory after you've been thrown out into the wild zone of chaos.
Yes.
And sometimes we throw ourselves into that zone like you did in this game. But just going through this process now, going, okay, like what are the main things I should have focused on here? And the thing is, if you simply were in this game again and you'd made that decision from the start to say, I'm going to go back to a rule of 1 gas into Lingbane Hydra. If you even had that as your goal, you would have done this infinitely better than in this replay we're watching, because you would have had more direction. But now we're not only adding, okay, we've got a direction, we're also thinking through the key points. So in-game would be a little bit easier to start recalling, oh yeah, and then at some point you go, oh shit, yeah, like I'm taking my 4th, I'm getting a macro hatch, I'm getting my 2/2 oh shit, like suddenly it just feels like a normal game, even though you got there in a different way, right? And things can start just clicking into place, and that way you can feel a little bit more comfortable. What's most useful with getting back in path is like things like that, links for safety after 2 base saturation. I love that we've got that written in there. The more queen production, because this keeps you safe as well as setting you up for the next stage. Whereas in this game, it was like we did a wave of damage and it was amazing, and then we just like droned, and then we droned more, and then we droned more, and then we built Roach more, and we built 2 Evos, then we droned. And I was like, no! And I do the exact same thing whenever I'm making up some sort of aggressive play for the very first time, where I'm like, oh shit, what do I do next? Maybe I'll make 80 drones, then I can do whatever I want, and they just counterattack and kill me, and I'm like,
Okay.
Turns out when you force your opponent to build army, they're usually going to use that army to come back and swing back at you, right? They're going to try and do something with it. Okay, I need my normal safety measures as a follow-up, and this is great. Just this little list you've written is awesome. So I think this is also something you want to just think about, and think about the fact that in this game, you had a nice opening, you had a good game plan, and you played great until the moment you didn't have any game plan, right?
Okay. Yes.
Focus on that, because that's something you'll start to realize more and more. Sometimes you'll make a genius, creative, adaptive move to counter what your opponent's doing or to counter something in the meta, and it'll work really well, and your follow-up will just suck balls. And no matter how many times you get a lead from a genius decision, if we never take the time to sit down and go, wait a second, let's actually think about the next step. Let's map it out a little bit. We're going to have a bit of a frustrating experience, because our ladder play is going to be a mixture of genius decision-making and really cool build orders and shifts mixed with us throwing away leads repeatedly. And it's like, damn it. So anytime you identify the same feeling of, wait, I felt like I was in control, I was kicking ass, and then I just didn't really know what my next step was, we go, whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, most important thing is just choose a direction. An easy one here, like we've talked about, is just go back to my normal build, my most standard macro build, and just start doing that checklist for that build. Okay, cool, pick it up from wherever. All right. Another one, like I said, is, all right, choose another second timing attack to drive home the win. Because the cool thing about that is, even if you're really greedy in the follow-up, let's go back and look at this replay. You've done your damage, awesome. Imagine if you were going for the 35 drone timing attack. Wait a second. You'd already have your 3 gases down, your Roach Warren. You wouldn't be building this Evo. And look at your drone count. You'd already be like building Overlords, which you just built a shitload of here. You'd be building Overlords. Roach Warren. Okay, Roach Warren's done. Build 10 Roaches, getting it together and going. Cool thing about doing that is, if you're planning to do another very aggressive thing, it also keeps you very safe. So if your opponent desperately tries to all in you or anything, their attack runs into your attack, and you're like, hell's yeah, this keeps me safe. You know, this not only gives me a chance of killing my opponent and doing big damage, but it also keeps me very safe. So it's, in some way, following up aggression with aggression is like the easier way to just get yourself in a safer position and sometimes get free wins without having to think too hard. You're just following like a set list you have before the game. It's like, yeah, I do my 12 pull, then I go 3 gases, 35 drone Ravager Ling attack, and then I drone up and I get a big round of mutas out, and then I just make Ling Bane, and off 3 bases, I go for a big Ling Bane muta bust or something like that, right? And it's like, what's cool about that is we take some of the decision making out of it. We don't have to think quite as hard, and it does make things just a little bit less stressful for you in game. So that's another avenue we can take, where we really just go aggression into drones, into next aggression, into drones and tech, into next aggression. And that is a way of making sure you basically never have to react to anything. So if we want to talk about easier ways of playing, especially as a Zerg player, that's the way you can click fast, micro fast, execute well. Don't really have to look at what your opponent's doing too much. Don't have to think too hard. And it's cool to kind of have that just as our playbook, so we can maybe pull that out whenever you're feeling like you're struggling to react on the ladder, you're trying to scout and adapt, but you don't fully understand everything you're seeing. Sometimes we're being too overreactive, and just choosing a dumb, simple plan we can follow without thinking too hard actually solves it.
Okay.
Cool, man. All right. So I guess obviously this is really good because this is all great theory. This is all just shit that is going to be applicable across a lot of different games and scenarios where you find yourself not knowing what you're doing. But let's fast forward from here and see if we manage to get on control of this. So this goes for 14 minutes. Obviously, took a bit of Hellion damage. You still have a great drone count. Roach speed is taking a while to kick in. The lack of creep spread is so bad against Battle Mech.
Yes.
Right? Against Battle Mech, because it's so mobility focused, it's like, oh god. It's actually insane. If you want to make your composition simpler, pure Roach can be nice. The big thing against Battle Mech, right? So rather than trying to go mutas here, because it's overcomplicated, you should have just split off the moment he wasn't able to push anymore. You should have split off half your army and sent it around to either come in behind his army and flank it, or just attack into his base. So let's just quickly talk about Battle Mech. If you look at his camera, let's watch his camera and look at what he's doing here.
Okay.
You can go to 2 times speed. Macro, A-move units around, kill some shit, all in one big blob. Probably doesn't even have control groups on his army. Most Battle Mech players don't. They found a style where they can run a blob around the map, and most Zergs will attack into that blob. And they're like, cool, cool. Kite, A-move, kite, A-move, kite, A-move. Look at how efficient he's being, dude. If he microed his Hellions a bit better, he could have blasted most of the Banelings down already as well.
Yes.
Notice how his camera's always on the army. Undefended base. Undefended base. If you go back to everyone's camera, what's defending his natural? Nothing. Does he have tanks or banshees? Nope.
No.
Oh. This is most Battle Mech players. Until they get much later in the game, they have one blob of Hellion Cyclone, and basically I always give the analogy of they are a boxer or a fighter who's very tall. Right? They've got a really long reach, like 9-inch, 10-inch reach advantage on their opponent. They're fighting a little dude. You as the Zerg, you're a little fucking squat dude. You're way shorter. You're a bit of a nugget. And he's just punching you in the face. And you're like, oh, he punched me. I better walk forward. And he punches you in the face again. And this happens to most Zerg players. What you realize is he's a skinny motherfucker, okay? These Cyclones and Hellions have no hit points, man. They don't have hit points. They are a shit unit, okay? If you can press them up against the wall, they disappear. We see this, right? Even there, you grab a few Cyclones, look how quickly they die. So if you can ever press him up against the fence and get some dirty boxing going, if you can ever if you can trip him and get on top of him, his reach doesn't mean shit when you're on top of him, punching him in the face, okay? Likewise, he's not watching his back. He's got really shitty footwork, man. You can catch him off balance really easily. Why? Look at his third and fourth, undefended. He's just rallying to this one blob. If you intercept his rally, if you hit his natural, you get on his production. If you hit any of those mineral lines, his whole army has to respond to go deal with that. So basically, if you split your army in two, you realize you can actually dismantle this rather simply. So if he's in your face, at the point where you feel like you're not going to die, like here, Zerglings aren't really going to help against this army. So if I was you, I would already split all the lings, and I would just A-move those. Just like that. Just go fucking hit a mineral line, buy some time. Buy some momentum. Let me get my drone count back up on 3 base. Let me get enough speed roaches. And like I said, once your army gets a little bit bigger, which we're going to see about 10 minutes, 10:30, see like more roaches are coming out, especially if we weren't building muters. It would be much easier if it was all just more roaches, mostly roaches. Speed banes are good, but mostly roaches. And then we just like box half that army, put it on a different control group. You control 2 control groups, number 1, number 2. And the easy, if they're not in your face, you can basically send one up here. You see where I'm signaling, yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. You can watch on the stream, I guess, as well, actually. It's probably easier right now with what I'm talking about. And you could just go up there and then like, okay, whenever he comes in, you just close in from 2 sides. Or even easier, because I find a lot of Terrans are really good at running away and hiding in these corners of the map and leading you around in circles, and they'll just keep running away, is the moment they're not in my face, I'm just like, okay, attack in there, and just hit their bases. And just keep making more roaches and banelings off like 3 bases of workers. And once you're in those mineral lines, any moment the Cyclones have to stand and fight, you realize their damage output's not that good. They're really good because of this situation where they pick at you, run back, pick at you, run back, and they have the whole map to run backwards while they're punching you in the face. They step backwards, they punch you in the face. They step backwards, they punch you in the face.
Yes.
And it's such a shame because I remember getting so frustrated doing exactly what you did here for so long until I got really angry. And when I get angry, I've trained myself to go look at some replays and think about how the style works and think about its weak points and exactly like what, if I'm the Terran player, I want to happen. And then I think about how I can make not what they want to happen. How I can do the opposite. How I can stop them getting their comfort zone. And I realized that any time I am chasing them in one direction across the map, the Terran has a big fat smile on his face. That's exactly how he wants this army to engage. And I was like, oh, okay. So I need to never chase that army. And then I was like, but he's in my face picking at me. I've got to chase him down, don't I? And that was when I formulated, oh, just split my army up. Cut off his retreat or counterattack him. He starts chasing those units in his mineral line. The other units move across, hit another mineral line. Anytime we catch him not looking and we sandwich him, that army gets just fudged. And I often win games against Battle Mech if they overextend like this, where I even have less workers than them. Their composition is not that efficient. So it's actually okay for you to be lower economy than them because one good fight and those Cyclones are so valuable and they'll just get absolutely wrecked, man. So I think mostly roaches. Some banes can be good. If they're on pure Cyclone, there's not enough Hellions, lings are great. But if there's not enough if there's Hellions at all, obviously that doesn't work out so well. So that's just something, get used to controlling 2 control groups. You're going to find you actually have a much better time of it. All right, let me just add some notes here. 2 squads. And yeah, anytime you press them up against the wall of their base where that you're hitting SCVs, they have to stand and fight as well. So really works out massively. Okay. So let's go versus Battle Mech. Press them up against the wall. Split army in 2. Never chase them from one direction. Backstab their mineral lines. And even just a few lings or roaches in a mineral line can buy you a bit of momentum. Make them so they can't look at their army while they're dealing with that. Buys you a bit of time just to take the pressure off you. So sometimes just rolling a few lings and banes in a mineral line, running a few roaches in, even that can be a good move just to get their bloody Cyclone micro away from your base. And that can be really nice.
Okay.
And sandwich their army. I remember Cyril was one of the few players who could consistently sandwich Battle Mech with Ling Bane. Don't try it. It's fucking terribly hard to pull off. Sarah would do it like and pull it off every time. And I'm like, no, build speed roaches.
Okay.
Speed roaches are much better. In terms of the early micro, let's quickly analyze that. So you see where he's going in and out. Big problem, no creep spread. Which is why if we can stand on the high ground, right, that's always going to be really good. Because then they run up and then we kill a Cyclone instantly. You always target Cyclones with your roaches. But because you didn't have roach speed or creep spread, you can't really do the micro. Normally, you'd run forward here with roaches, they'd lock on, and then you pull back. And you try to break the lock on. And some people go, oh, but they just scan. That's good. It's 225 minerals they've lost every time they scan. Okay. And then whenever they run back towards you, you run at them. And then as they turn back and run away, you quickly run backwards. And often they won't be quick enough to change directions, and you break vision. So here, we should have already pulled back. Pull back, and then go forward again. Pull back, and then go forward again. And keep respreading creep, replacing creep. And that's how you buy time for yourself. So if they are ever like, oh shit, that's a lot of cyclones through my face, I got to buy time. You got to do that back and forth micro just to buy time. Ideally, though, we split our army as fast as possible so we don't have to do that for too long because it's pretty stressful. Trying to break lock on and move back and forwards can get very easy to make mistakes. Easy to lose our cool and start just running into the blue flames and the cyclones and giving them what they want, giving them that kind of kiting engagement where they just tear our army apart.
Okay.
Cool, man. We've probably got as much as we can out of this replay. Let's just fast forward real quick. Do you end up winning?
No, I lose monumental.
Cool. And we're at 58 drones for a long time, right? So we never even got to 3 base full saturation. And Mutas definitely can beat it, but now he's building Thors. Okay, let's leave. We don't want to see Mutas versus Thors. No. Oof. I mean, Thor splash damage isn't what it once was, but it's still pretty good. So.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. All right. Oh, all right. Okay, let's go. I can go there. So do we have another replay we want to look at, or?
No, the other one is the other one that I had prepared is the same thing. It was also versus a random player that ended up being Terran. It was a really weird opening. It was a proxy to racks versus I tried the no regret Scarlet 14, 13, 12. So it got weird.
I would not try that versus Terran.
No. I didn't know it was Terran.
You didn't know it was Terran, right? So you were just
Protoss
choosing.
or Zerg.
I think that
works. Protoss might.
Yeah, it could work versus Protoss potentially if they don't pay close attention. Yeah, that's true.
I had a 66% of the build working out.
Fair enough.
But
Not a bad way to play.
It ended up being a 30-minute game where I lost in the ultra late game.
Okay, cool.
It's the same thing. I didn't have like. Well,
no worries.
there I went for Linkbane Hydra because I saw Bio, but it got in the late game I lost.
Okay. Well, let's see if there's anyone in chat who's willing to play a custom game with us then, I guess. We can hop into a live game.
Okay.
What do you want to practice? Just rule of one gas, one of the roach timings? What do you want to focus on?
One of the roach timing to see if I can make it sharper, I would like.
Okay, awesome. What is the rule of one gas? Some people are asking. And that's just your most standard Zerg versus Terran opening. If you guys check !builds, you can check it out. Guys, we need someone who's about 3.5k, right?
I mean
3.67 at the moment, actually.
6.7, yes.
Update the MMR in your document if you can. Oh, crazy
Okay.
Windows noise. Sorry, don't know what happened there.
It's this one.
Yeah. And write the date next to it, and you know what? And then we can start making a little mini list there, so we can just track it. This is something I've started to get people to do with coaching, because then we can see the ups and downs a bit. We can look at the bigger picture, because our memory is very fallible. We'll be like, oh man, I'm so shit. I'm 3,700 MMR now, and I'll be like, dude. 2 months ago you were 3,500. Like you're still like on an upwards trajectory. Like our brain has a very short memory. We're very Our ego is very fragile. So guys, anyone who's about that level is Terran, preferably. Systemic would be great. Anyone who's a Terran who's about 3.5, 3.8, 4K, 3. Anyone in the 3.7 range, please hop in chat channel Piggy on the NA server. I would like a main Terran if possible. If not, no worries. That's fine. Hop in chat channel Piggy. So as always, /join space Piggy or Pig2 works as well. Shout out once you're there. Kaiser, host up a game. So you choose a map, get a lobby ready so we can get straight on into it. And once someone shouts out here, we can grab them in.
Simulacrum. Never dream.
Oh, crack. My neck is cracking like crazy today. Probably been sitting with very bad posture. Just make me a referee. I will shoot Systemic an invite. Just drag Systemic up. Let's see if there's anyone else. Someone said they're a 4K Terran, a Meteorbe. Can you hop in? Guess I'm too high? Oh, we could probably use you, Meteorbe. It's only 300 MMR, 330 MMR difference. That's totally fine. Yeah, hop in, dude. I don't know if there's anyone else who's a main Terran. Yeah, put Systemic in, Kaiser, for now. But we might use Meteorbe for the next game. So Systemic, is Terran more an off race or main for you? Hey, Tiny Little Dragon, congratulations. Gold League Protoss, you just made it. Big congrats. Silver to gold is actually a ridiculous jump in skill. Same way bronze to silver is. People are like, oh no, you're so bad if you're not GM. It's like, no. Bronze to silver is insane. Okay, so Systemic's main is Zerg. If we have a main Terran, that would be great. Are you hopping on Meteorbe? If you are, we will use you instead of Systemic. Systemic's happy to just watch and sub in if needed. So let us know in Twitch chat if you are coming on Meteorbe. Matoabi? I don't know what that name is. You're not a main Terran, Dr. Ryan. Shut up. No GMs allowed. He always wants to hop in and play. I'm like, no, you're GM with Protoss. Too good. Okay, I don't see anyone in the other channels typing. I'm looking through, guys. I don't see anyone. Nope. I think Meteorbe pissed off. No, Meteorbe, post again in chat, in Twitch chat, if you are able to help us. But I don't think you are. They're like, my name is Meteorbe. I don't know. Okay, we'll just use Systemic. You guys can play a game. If Meteorbe or someone else comes, we can get them in the next one. So,
Perfect.
Systemic mute before we tell you what to do. Ready to start? He should have muted by now. So what one are you? Do you want to do the sneaky 6 roach? I can't even. The maps are a lot bigger now, I think, than back when we were using that build in 2018. So I imagine the 35 drone one is probably a little bit better, like the standard Ravager Ling attack.
Yes, it's. I think it's the one that I'm better.
All right, let's do that. He says any preferred strats. I'm saying anything with an expansion. He should be ready, so go.
Go.
All right, good luck, have fun, mate. So get in there, just do your best with the build. I will study, I will analyze. I might write up some notes on a slightly later variation in case we play against a lot of people with Banshee openings that is better against the Banshee opening. But we'll see how we go. All right, get in there, man. Good luck, have fun.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys so much for the support. We had a bunch of new people sign up, and I'm sure you guys have very adult names. So I just want to say a big thanks to people who've signed up. We're only 20 people away from getting the Build Architect stream going. So those of you who are, doing that, I just want to say a big thanks. If you can be effed, it just posted another link in chat. If you click there and download the game, I get money. You just need to finish the tutorial. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Much love. We will be done with that in a few days when we get the 200 signups. We're almost there, which is amazing. So I just want to say a big thanks to everyone who's taken the time to do that. I'm actually kind of surprised we've made it this far. I want to say a big thank you. So, great opening. We got all that stuff. That's good. Oh, what the hell? My thing didn't log in. It logged me out for some reason. Hatchery feels like it was a few seconds late there. Could have been slightly faster. Just slightly faster. Not a massive deal. Just feel like maybe a few seconds late. Workers aren't doubled up. You can see there's only one dude on that patch whilst there's 3 on that patch. So still not doubling up workers. Someone put a dodgy bitly link as their register. What the fuck? They completed the tutorial as well. Thank you, mate. We also had Geodic complete the tutorial and Smeg, Malicious, Nutted, Nat Bread. As I said, guys, the height of fucking intelligence here. Thank you very much, guys, for playing the tutorial. Why is it a Rickroll? Was that you again, Salty Rutabaga, you piece of crap? I'm not clicking on it. I'm not an idiot. I'm not clicking on another dodgy BitLie link from I don't even know who signed up to that. You already Rickrolled me once, okay? It's as many times as I'm getting Rickrolled today. It's not 2005 playing Dota anymore. Oh, that's a quick bunker. Interesting. Oh, Systemic is not a normal player at all, for sure. Yeah, this is definitely not a normal Terran. Is that Overlord visible? Yeah, it's not in position. He almost lost to a Cyclone in the previous game. But anyways, so we got Queens on the way. Inject. Let's build 2 workers off gas. Where's that third hatch at? Yo. So he goes for a bit of a later third hatch. Okay. Yeah, this is old school. I like it. I don't mind it. I feel like when you do the hatch a little later, I feel like there should be a bit more droning going on right now. We got money. Why aren't we droning? All right, there we go. It's not bad. Practice game, Everdream versus Systemic. 35 drone, 3 gas, Ravager Ling attack. We also want to talk about what the next step is. So the transition behind that.
Evolution complete.
Should it be like a 1-1, 6 gas, about 60 drone, roach speed timing, all in attack on the third? Mutiling Bane? Those are 2 options. Yeah. So those are a few. Okay. Roach Horn's already done. Where's the third gas? It's already mining. Ooh, we did not build extra overlord. Oh no, that overlord just popped. Okay, I was like, we don't have enough overlords. Wait, why are you building 2 Zerglings already? I've only got 7 roaches on the way. That was weird. Overlord positioning sucks balls. Doesn't have any overlords out front the base. Alright, that's a pattern. Overlord priority is poor. First Overlord outside their base. Next Overlords outside, out front, our natural third. Same in all 3 matchups, by the way. Fixed for all 3 matchups. That's same a natural third. Why do you do that? Spots, Adepts, Hellions, Lingbane attacks ahead of time. Then Overlords on the edges, watching for air. Air hits later in the game. That's why you don't put those Overlords there as quickly. Ah, okay. It's a tank on the high ground. 1 tank is fine. You can usually break that, but where's the speedlings? You gotta be biling. You should be biling these depots. So you can see here isn't taking advantage. It's a pretty fast attack. Most people won't have tanks this early. This is a bad build that Systemic's doing.
Your forces are under attack.
Could have biled down the depots on the left without taking tank fire, then gone in all at once. Rush some lings on the ramp to spot the tank whilst 45 Ravages run. Oh, that was terrible buying. Massive panic. Run to the right.
Oh, fuck.
Massive. I don't know what the fuck we just pressed. He just fucked that up so bad. He just went and spammed biles like here and here. He got 1 on the tank. That's super weird, man. I don't know what happened. Was 45 Rangers run to the right to bile the tank. It only takes 3, but some might die. So best to bring more. So the way what I'm talking about is different. Alright, GG. That's cool. Most people won't have tanks up that early, so obviously this is a harder scenario, but we still could have won. So GG out, and look at my stream. I'm going to give you a quick analysis of what you could have done better. Systemic's like, oh, I went too hard. Too good at StarCraft. Okay, so this is actually a pretty decent build order, dude. No massive changes. I do want to point out one thing. Your Overlord vision was not great. So in all matchups, it's really important to get Overlords out front your natural and your third base. Without having Overlords here, you don't get any early warnings of Adept shading in, Hellions running in, or Ling Bane attacks. You're putting Overlords out on the edges in these kind of weird positions as a high priority. That's not as important as getting those 2 or 3 Overlords out front on every map in every matchup. Just a small thing. That's going to make it much easier to handle Hellion run-bys and all sorts of stuff as well. Beyond that, let's look at the attack. So the attack was quite well timed. So one thing is your Overlord... Oh, no, it was actually... Okay, you did reposition the Overlord. It was a Viking that got it. Yeah. So you run in, you go, oh, shit. Now, first things first, where are our Zerglings? Why don't we have Zerglings here yet, right? So one thing is you got to remember to set the rally point across the map. I don't attack that much either. Guess what? I forget the same thing. Rally point across the map. It should be at least out, say, here. So, other than that, let's just double check. Because you were building your roaches. So we've built 9 roaches. Right up. And then we've got minerals here. We've got lava. We do take a while, I think, to build these extra Zerglings. So we build quite a lot of extra Overlords, more than we need. If you think about it, even 40 Zerglings is only 20 supply. So we do build a lot of free supply. Now that ends up being good because this Viking comes out and gets the Overlord. So I guess this is probably... I just think probably these last Overlord is maybe not necessary, but you know what? It's not too bad. Not too bad. Just could have been here a little bit faster with a Ling Rally. So anyways, we get shot by the tank. This is the point where we go, oh shit, I just lost my Overlord. And then we start bringing this other Overlord up, which is not a bad move by any means, right? We're like, oh, it's going to take a while to get there though, which does suck. What's more important is you should look at that tank position and go, wait a second, that can't actually kill you up here. So you should have, during this time, just been rallied up here, building more Zerglings, making more Ravages. But you could have shift-clicked your Ravages to kill these depots. Him coming out, this is a really dangerous move from him. So that's really nice. You get a few Marine kills. But you should be killing those 2 depots right there with some biles. And you had a bit of time. We didn't know this tank was coming down. So we could have already killed those or damaged them. And then normally the goal here, because that Overlord is just too long, we can't waste that much time, is we want to break those down, gather our units, maybe spread them out here and here a bit, and then we want to run in with everything. And obviously we can bile the bunker down first, but once the walls, because we've already killed the wall ahead of time, that's the most important thing. We want to grab some of our Lings and click them on the ramp, up to the top of the ramp, because that'll give us high ground vision. And then you grab a bunch of your Ravages, 4 or 5, and you click them over here. Don't use their biles. So as soon as those Lings get on that ramp, bam, triple bile on the tank. And that's going to be really important. Likewise, if you realize this tank's on the left, obviously try to bile that with other Ravages if you can. But that's just something we could have done. And this was really weird. Do you use rapid fire on your corrosive bile?
Yes, but I misclicked. I didn't. Hit the tank.
What do we got? We were talking about DPI in the chat earlier. What do you have? 17,000 DPI? That was a really panicky click. Too much adrenaline, man. Oh, that was really bad. Yeah, you immediately after I heard you mutter like, "What the hell was that?" or something like that. You know, I was like, "Yeah, we just got a bit too excited." I mean, I really liked the move of the Overlord. I was just kind of hilarious how that worked. If we were going to run in with the bus like that, I guess we should have A-moved the other units as well. Just got a bit derpy with how we were doing that. And then we attacked the supply building plate, the unbuildable rocks there, with our whole army. So we literally ran into a tiny choke point, all our units trying to attack those unbuildable rocks, which it was everything went wrong. That being said, big map. He opened with a bunker straight into tanks. This is the safest play of all time. Now in future, if you happen to scout this, and this is why I am in the past a big fan of people always sending an Overlord sack in about 3:30, you could already be on track to do this build. And if you saw this set up here, there was one thing that counted as a player is building bunkers and tanks. And that is just make fucking 80 drones and do whatever the hell you want. Because his attack's going to be shit. No Hellions. Liberators are going to be probably not very fast. If they do come, they're on their own. They're not combined with Hellions. Pretty easy to respond. Tanks and unupgraded Marines, that's not scary. Queens and Creep and Zerglings beats that. We don't even need to build Zerglings till we see them move out. So the problem with Systemic's opening is that if you just hit your drones really hard, easiest opening of all time. And it's why you won't play a lot of Terrans doing this. This will be pretty rare what Systemic does here. If you play against it, it is the better choice against what you're doing. But we can also look at this and say, okay, well, sometimes we lose the dice roll. That sucks. In hindsight, this other Overlord should just always go to here, right? So it's closer to bring over.
Okay. Okay.
So that can just be part of your build. Always send second Overlord to be closer to tank on high ground. Spotting. That can be really big. Awesome. All right, man. I think those are the main ones for that. Let's see if we got a new partner. Let's hop out of the replay. If anyone else, like that person we were asking, or 4K Terran did come in, shout out in the chat channel in game. Otherwise, for now, Kaiser, you can host up another game if you guys want to keep practicing. We are actually running out of time. So I guess we should finish up quickly and do a little summary. So if you guys want to get in, where's Systemic? Is Systemic want to play again? Do you see Systemic in any of the channels? I think he might have.
Yes, he's in the...
Yeah, shoot him an invite. And because I'm going to have to jet before this game really goes down. But if anyone else wants to hop in and play...
sorry.
There we go. I shot him an invite. Please hop in chat channel Piggy and play some practice games here with Kaiser. So Kaiser, I mean, the build order looked quite okay there, right? It's just, I want you to have a bit more Overlord vision, because if we were dealing with like a Reaper harassing and Hellions, a lot of it's about denying the scouting where possible. And without the Overlord vision out front, it's going to be so easy for a Reaper to just walk in your base and see what's going on. So I think fundamental things that we can really take away from today. Overlord positioning in all of your games is really big. With that timing attack, you looked pretty good, but now we've got a few things. Remember to rally point across the map, and remember that second Overlord, by default, always send that across to be a little bit closer to the high ground, so we don't have to bring it in from as far away to spot that if there is a tank on the high ground. Number 3, if they do have a tank on the high ground, usually you can still bile down the far side of the wall with the depots, open it up, and then go in with the big bust. And if you get some lings on that ramp, that tank can get blasted. So that's actually pretty awesome as well. Systemic saying can go battle mech. I think that'd be really good practice. We talked about battle mech and how it'd be really good for you to practice splitting your army up to deal with that, right? Hit their mineral lines, hit their production, and if you can, pull off a sandwich on their army. Mostly mass speed roach. If you add banelings, cool, but mostly mass speed roach is what you're going to use to overwhelm battle mech.
And with that, the upgrades, do I go +1 missile, +1 melee, or...
That's what I'd probably go for, yeah. Because Cyclones don't really do any regular damage, so armor doesn't matter against them. And Hellions, armor's not that important. And if they go into tanks and stuff, it's not so good, so yeah. Awesome. Okay, so Systemic's ready to play more games. Read through all the notes in the document tomorrow when your brain's fresh as well. Because there's quite a few little details in there, right? There's a lot of little things.
Yes.
But I really like the chat we had at the start about, now that you've thought about that, every now and then when you're like, what can I improve at StarCraft? Just think about the games where you do some cool shit or things are okay, but just think about the points where you don't know what the hell you're doing. It's like one of the most powerful things as a StarCraft player is what we talked about. Anytime you're like, oh, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what my plan is. Those are the points where you can get huge gains just from having a little think, being like, I think it'd be cool to go into mutas off this. So before you start your game with Systemic, if you look in the document, I'm going to leave you with, you see where I've got highlighted in the document?
Yes.
So what is your transition after your Ravager Ling 35 drone? I've written 2 options off the top of my head that I would probably think of, just Mutilate Lingbane macro. One is do a 60 to 65 drone, 6 gases, 1/1 roach, gigantic roach Ravager attack, right? I don't know what you like. There might be Nidus Swarmers. You're like, I like Nidus Swarm hosting after this because they're on the back foot. You can make some crazy shit work, but I think just choose something there so that okay, I'm droning up and doing this as the next step. Am I going back to a normal macro game? Am I going Mutiling Bane? Am I going Hydraling Bane? Then I got to build more queens because I'm short on queens and get upgrades. Just try to have a little think about that. In any situation where you're doing a timing attack, make sure you know what the next step is, and you'll find that you're automatically then going to start honing in on how you can be more organized and start kicking more ass in that follow-up.
Okay,
Awesome sauce, man. This is great.
perfect.
All right. Thank you so much, Systemic. And good luck. Have fun, guys. Have a great day. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you, Pig.
Awesome. Have a good one, man. Hit me up whenever you want to set up the next session. Looking forward to it.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Good night, mate. All right. Good little sesh there. Dealing with Battle Mech. Planning out the next step after our attacks and that sort of stuff, of course, was a lot of what we were talking about there.